Hey guys, it's Dustin here. I know that I've got a pigeon-oriented channel, but I actually had fish for a long time before I had pigeons, and I actually used to breed guppies, which is a species of tropical fish in the Endler's live bearers group. So they're grouped with mollies and platies, and that they have live birth and don't lay eggs. So I've had I've had a few different fish species. I wouldn't say I've had a bunch of them, but I have had a few. And I suppose even though guppies are pretty easy to breed, that should at least earn me some points there that I've bred them. So I haven't done a whole lot with fish since I got the pigeons. I've mostly been focusing on the pigeons, but I did used to have fish, and my favorite of all time was betta fish. I've contemplated breeding them for a long time. They just have so many babies, or potentially can have so many babies at one time, that I haven't ever really done it. It's not that difficult though, and I'm still thinking about trying it. But I recently have been doing more with the fish, particularly betta fish. I just love betta fish and find it irresistible to start collecting them once I get started. I just have to keep getting more. So recently I go to a private school where we have shop class, which is mostly wood shop. But I did build 2 fish tanks this week. I gave one to my girlfriend today. Today was our 3-year dating anniversary. But while we were out, I got a betta fish to go in it, though I'm planning on dividing the tank so that I can put 3 in it. It's a rather long tank to go on my headboard. But I did go ahead and get a betta fish today. I still got to finish the base for my tank to sit on, because it's going on a surface that's kind of curved. The top of my headboard is flat, kind of like a table, but it's a little bit curved. So I've got to make sure I build a base for it that can keep it completely level and flat. But I thought I'd show you this betta fish I got today. You can't really see him in there very well, but right here, let me make sure you guys can see this. This is my 10-gallon. This is my 10-gallon in the haul. Of course, betta fish can live in smaller tanks. The more space the better, and they're a lot more active and a lot more fun to watch in a larger tank. So this is my 10-gallon, and I actually wish I had raised the camera up a little higher. You're getting a little bit of interference from those lights, a little bit of glare, but I'm going to be putting them in here so you can see. Betta fish, of course, cannot live together, but they can be put together for short periods of time. They'll just display. They won't start trying to rip each other apart. So under close supervision, you can put them together for a little bit. You'll really be able to see them better, especially this one, a double tail half moon male. So I'll show you these two in just a moment. Alright, so after a brief pause to reposition the camera, because I wasn't liking that angle too much, here we go. And I will repeat again, they cannot live together because they will kill each other after a long enough period of time. Putting them together for a short period of time and monitoring them, they'll be just fine. I just want to get them flaring and be able to see them well. So he's sinking to the bottom there. He's not quite sure what's going on, especially now that there's a filter in there and he's not liking that flow. He should start swimming around in a moment though. So you can see my betta fish that lives in here, and he's flaring a lot. That's a half moon double tail. They're both males. Here comes the crown tail I just bought. He's a mostly black betta fish, but he's got that iridescent blue-green. Looks really cool. Now, it's a little bit harder to see them because my hood, which would be the lid on a fish tank, finally went bad and I had to get a new one. And this new one uses LEDs. And it's just a cool light. It's not a real bright light either that you can't really change. So, see up here, they just kind of look dark, and that's something I don't like about this new hood. But the fish tank he's going in, I'm actually building the hood myself. It'll be much brighter, and I'll be able to control the wavelength and color of the light and how bright it is, which is nice. eventually I may try breeding. I may put a female sorority in here. I had a female Betta Fish sorority tank, which is a group of females all living together, and that was real fun. I may do that again, but I'll plant it a little more first if I do that. Right now my plants have not been growing for a very long time, but I've got my net here so I can scoop one out as soon as I need to. But that plant there and this one are the same. This one just started sprouting, and for some reason it's lifting up off the bottom. I'm going to have to rebury it in the sand. Oh, you can see there was a little bit of a nip there, so I'm probably going to go ahead and take one of them out. I don't want that new male getting too stressed out either, but I wanted y'all to be able to see what he looked like. And there we go. Not that you can see him very well, but now he's back in that cup. I'll bring home the fish tank from shop class probably tomorrow. While Betta Fish cannot live in those cups, like some people believe, he'll be just fine for a day or two. So, that's my fish tank. That's a lily bulb back there. I don't remember what these two are called. Actually, the paper from the packaging they came in is still right here. Let me look. It is that last one right there. It's not going to focus. It's Apongogeton or something. A-P-O-N-O-G-E-T-O-N. I've had that before. I've had those in the aquarium before. I like them. You can see they come up a lot like lily pads, and the leaves float along the surface. Right there. You can't really get, they can't really hide in it very well, but the Betta Fish enjoy. He likes to get right on top of those stems right there and just hang out. But then I've got a lily bulb back there. This one in the corner didn't sprout. That's called a water onion, and I was hoping to, I really wanted that one to sprout. It was a stiffer plant, so it should do okay with the current, but it didn't sprout. But oh well, that was just a cheaper thing, is to get those package of a few dry bulbs from PetSmart, so I did that. And I've got a lot of algae on my rocks. I'm thinking about getting some kind of algae eater. I just can't get a Plecoctomus because or a Pleco, because the tank is too small. So I'm thinking about what I want to get. But for now, it's just the Betta Fish. I'll give you an update when I get that bigger tank, and I may start doing some more videos on aquarium fish, especially if I do wind up breeding Betta Fish. I have thought about it. I just don't particularly want to add something else to my workload, but I may do it anyways. It's been a while since I've bred fish, and I really enjoy it, so maybe after the pigeons are done breeding. If y'all would like to see a video on that, you can comment and let me know. If y'all really want to see a video of breeding Betta Fish, I'll almost certainly try it, so we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. While I'm doing a video on pets that's not related to pigeons, I'll go ahead and, I don't know if I put a video on there or not when I got her, but this is my parakeet Nina. I've had her for about a month now. She came from PetSmart. I would actually recommend adopting parrots, because a lot of people, after they get them, don't want them and get rid of them. And that's no life for a bird, especially one that can live 100 years or more, which parakeets can't, but the bigger parrots can. She's looking at a lifespan of around 20 years, about the same as a pigeon. I got her from PetSmart, and I was actually extremely dishappy with her treatment when they got her out of the cage. It took them 10-15 minutes chasing her around with the net. Stressed the birds out a lot. The guy just was not very good at catching them. I realize it's not easy, but it shouldn't take 10 or 15 minutes or more. And at one point he actually pinned her against the glass by her neck with the net that he was using to try and catch her. I was very displeased with that. But she's doing better now. She had green poop for a couple of days, so just in case. And as far as pigeons go too, green poop can be a sign of illness, but is not necessarily. It's a sign of stress, and stress can mean an illness. So don't necessarily freak out if an animal has, especially a new bird, has green poop. It's just a sign of stress, and hers is. After a few days, it went to being normal. Started her out in that cage. She wasn't in it very long. This, I don't really know how to show you how big that is. There's my hand. It's not tiny, but that's too small for a parakeet. Maybe for a pair of finches or something, I'm not sure. But not for a parakeet. This bigger cage was actually given to me by a close friend of mine who rehabilitates wild birds, or she did. She's getting out of it now because it's just a huge workload. Most of the baby birds she raises have to eat every 10 minutes, so she's not doing that. But she runs a parrot rescue, and so I can tell you for sure rescuing parrots is way a better route to go. Not to mention, depending on the circumstances, it may already be tamed, may have been taught words and tricks. But she's not. She's just a young one. That's a lot of detail to go into for something I was just going to show you real quick. But she's completely comfortable with me standing here videoing her. But I'll show you. You saw her do that. She gets real nervous when I stick my hand in here, which I've been doing more lately because I want her to get used to my hand being in here. She's just a rather fearful bird. I guess it's just because she's so small. Parakeets can kind of be like that. I keep saying her. I thought it was a female. You can tell by their noses, which is called the sear. Or at least in pigeons it's called a sear. If it's light and fleshy colored, I don't know if that's going to focus or not. If it's light and fleshy colored, it would be a female, but if it's bright blue, yeah, it's not going to focus. If it's bright blue, that would indicate a male. And she's kind of got a little bit of blue pigment, but it's mostly fleshy colored, so I thought she was a female, but now having had her for a little while. And actually, after I got her home, let me turn on this big light, so maybe you can see. She's got red eyes. She's not an albino, but she is hypomelanistic, which means she has a lack of melanin, which would be the dark colored pigment. So if she wasn't hypomelanistic, she would be bright yellow, like a yellow canary. But she's hypomelanistic, so that's why she's a lighter color. So it may be a male with reduced pigment in its nose. I'm not sure. But I only have one, and I don't ever have any intentions of breeding him or her, so it's really not a big deal. She's got several toys in here. You can see she doesn't really play with them. She's got a cuddle bone. She doesn't really chew on it, and maybe that's just because her toys are a little too cluttered over there. I did have them spread out more, but she's kind of pushed them a little bit. She doesn't like that perch. She just mostly sits there. She doesn't come over here to this mirror. There's it would be a lot easier to tell you what she did like than what she doesn't, because she doesn't like a lot of things. But excuse the mess. Let me do this. My room's a little messy. This is where that fish tank is going to go. Unfortunately, the fish tank is not as long as this. The fish tank's only 32 inches long, just because that's the longest I could get at Lowe's. But that's where it's going to go. Just in case anyone's wondering, yeah, I hunt. There's that right there. That's actually wasn't a huge deer, but it was that was a year or two back, and that was one of my first bucks, so killed it. And these are Birmingham roller wings. This is actually, it might sound kind of weird, but this is from one of the first Birmingham rollers I raised, and he rolled and broke his neck on the house, and I just decided to keep his wings. I hunt, and I do a lot of hunting, so I'm quite familiar with preserving things like wings, tails, hides, and stuff. So I kept them. I've had them for years now. Eventually I'm going to put them on the wall or something, but I didn't kill a pigeon to get it, so don't worry about that. But yeah, that's where it's going to go, and if you can see, it's not completely flat. It's pretty close, but it's not. It's a little bit rounded, so I'm going to do that. This right here, that's my little brother's Betta Fish. can't really see right now because the way the lamp is, but he's red. It's just a red veiltail. And I need to change the water and bring it back up. I should have the water level around there. But so I got several fish in here, but several fish, parakeet, pigeons outside. Eventually I ought to do a video on the chickens. I've got a video in there of one of our chickens sledding. She sleds every year. But the video from this year is not very good. Just couldn't get her going very well. Eventually I'll find the videos from last year where she did a lot more. But yeah, feel free to check out that video of the chicken sledding. Hope y'all like this video. I'll probably do miscellaneous type videos like this from time to time. But if y'all do want to see a video of how to breed betta fish, I'll attempt it. And I say attempt just because I don't want to make promises, but I don't have any doubts as to how I'll be able to do it, that it'll go fairly well. I don't really doubt that. I just don't want to make promises. You never want to promise anyone anything when it comes to animals. They're unpredictable, including up to death. So I never promise anyone I'll get them any kind of animal because it's possible for it to die. Sad and unfortunate, but it does happen. So, but if y'all would like to see that, let me know, and I'll probably do it. And even if you don't, I may still do it. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, especially for my series on breeding pigeons. I'm going to do a new video here probably today or tomorrow. I've got a pigeon or two that look like, I've got a roller that really looks like she could lay anytime, so might do a video with egg tomorrow, so we'll see. Bye guys.